What appeared in front of Qin Feng was a magnificent hiding place that resembled an ancient Roman arena, giving people a solemn and iron-blooded feeling. In Qin Feng's shadow perception, he could feel that there were many members of the White Bull altar in this hiding place. They did not go offline and flee, but gathered together, surrounding a tall and burly demon NPC. They were even discussing whether to kill him. It seems interesting. Qin Feng's mouth curled up slightly, and he raised his hand directly, throwing a shadow blade towards the defensive barrier outside the Roman arena, as the shadow blade instantly broke the defensive barrier. The entire hiding place was full of alarms. At this moment, the players of the White Bull altar had no idea that Qin Feng had arrived. In fact, Queen K had early warning measures. After confirming that Joffrey had an accident in Kyoto, she had sent people to surround the multinational teleportation array in the center of the ruins of Twisting Waste City, because currently, besides Qin Feng, there is only one ghost in the world who can use cross-border teleportation. Therefore, this move will not interfere with other players in the Twisting Waste ruins. Several subordinate guilds from the White Bull altar directly built dozens of layers of elemental walls near the teleportation array, such as earth walls, ice walls, etc., and placed a reconnaissance eye next to the teleportation array. As long as there is any movement in the teleportation array, they will report it immediately, because that must mean that the shadow is coming. Indeed, if Qin Feng uses the teleportation array, he will not be able to eliminate the energy fluctuations of the teleportation array. Even if the other party cannot see through his invisibility, they will know that he has come. After all, who else can reach level 30 and use the teleportation array? But Queen K and other players from the White Bull Altar Guild never expected that Qin Feng came directly from reality to the Twisting Waste City. This will undoubtedly consume more time, but it is still necessary for Qin Feng. After all, he also has to prevent some people from using offline escape. Now, Qin Feng is twisting the waste market online and offline, so no matter how the opponent operates, he can't escape. If you enter the game, I will enter the game to kill you. If you leave the game offline, I will leave the game and go offline directly. And when Qin Feng threw a shadow blade, he directly cancelled the invisibility and walked towards the magnificent ancient arena building with Luo Xiaoqiao, who is still in the state of ice sculpture, in his arms. As he stepped on the ancient stone stairs step by step, groups of players from the White Bull Altar Guild suddenly emerged from the building. Some of them have blonde hair and blue eyes. Some have Asian faces. And some are obviously from Latin America. But there are no black-skinned players. Walking in front is a woman with long brown hair, wearing an off-shoulder robe. She looks about 30 years old, and her brown eyes are filled with unconcealed nervousness. That is Queen K. Qin Feng had no impression of this woman in his previous life. After all, in the previous life, this woman was just one of the strong men in Niuyao City, not like now. Relying on the equipment bought secretly from Qin Feng, this guild made too much progress ahead of schedule and conquered the NPC Demon Nuke, thus achieving an absolute leading advantage. When the group of people filed out of the gate of the ancient arena, Queen K hadn't spoken yet, and a middle-aged man wearing a robber's hood beside her spoke. He stared at Qin Feng with his eyes and spoke in Daxia language with a strange accent. You are the fourth shadow. I guessed you would come, but I didn't expect you to be so bold that you didn't even hide the forest. Why are you in such a hurry to come and give me a M? While this man was talking, he, like other members of the White Bull Guild next to him, secretly looked at the ice sculpture girl in Qin Feng's arms with some doubts. Mysterious Mr. X, who was very familiar with the Daxia official, recognized her at a glance. The ice sculpture girl was the target of their assassination this time, the soul collector Luo Xiaoqiao, but he didn't understand why Shadow came here with this girl. Of course, he didn't think too much about it. After all, now he just needed to attract Qin Feng to attack him. Devil Nook was already protecting him in secret. As long as Shadow attacked him, the Hell Beast under Demon Nook would appear instantly to block Shadow's attack. In that case, it would be equivalent to Shadow attacking Demon Nook, so that Demon Nook would have the right to counterattack. Otherwise, no matter how strong Demon Nook was, he would not threaten any player. Qin Feng was a little speechless about the other party's obvious provocation. This guy doesn't need to be so anxious to die, right? I thought this guy might hide after the incident, but I didn't expect him to dare to jump like this. Just when Qin Feng came over, he had actually heard the conversation between the other party and the demon NPC, although he didn't hear too much details. But he almost understood the other party's thoughts. Since you want to die, then I'll grant your wish. Qin Feng smiled and slowly prepared to put down the ice sculpture girl in his hand. It seemed that he was going to take action, but at this moment, before Qin Feng took action, the mysterious Mr. X wearing a robber's mask suddenly had a damaged number of millions of dollars on his head. Mysterious Mr. X was dumbfounded. Queen K was dumbfounded. The other players of the White Bull Guild around were dumbfounded. Even the hidden demon tamer, Madman Nuke, was dumbfounded. They were all waiting for Qin Feng to take action. But Qinfeng didn't even take action. And Mr. X died. Drop the pen. A scornful voice came from the air beside, making everyone present look at each other in bewilderment. Pet. It's Shadow's pet.
Oh my god.
He's really a fool. Everyone be careful. His pet's stealth level is also very high. At this moment, the scene was in chaos. The Demon Nook, who originally planned to block Qinfeng's attack and create legitimate defense, was also shocked. What the hell is this? My anti-stealth level is 42, but I didn't see anything. Even if I can't see the human shadow, where is the attack trajectory? What about the special effects? Demon Nook hasn't appeared yet, and he's already a little scalp numb. What makes him even more scalp numb is the pet of Old Six hiding in the dark, killing this one and that one, killing the second one and the third one, having a lot of fun. And Demon Nook, a level 50 NPC, can't see through that Old Six. It was even impossible to tell who the Old Six was going to kill next. He and the three-headed hellhound he summoned in advance were stunned on the spot. Unknown unit, unknown attack method, unknown damage type. I only know that the invisible pet Old Six is very mean. Devil Nook was a bit embarrassed, but he was worthy of being the intermediate NPC closest to the advanced NPC, and he immediately thought of a solution. You have a pet, and I have one too. I'll hide in here. As the Demon Nook shouted calmly, the huge three-headed hellhound under his command instantly jumped out of the arena room next to it. It turned out to be a huge monster with a height of 7 or 8 meters and a length of 11 or 12 meters. This three-headed hellhound, of course, could not take the initiative to launch any attack, but its size was there. As soon as it jumped out, the remaining Queen K and others ran towards the belly of the three-headed hellhound. Then the three-headed hellhound crawled on its belly, protecting the remaining 30-odd people. This gave Queen K and the others a full sense of security, but before they could react, suddenly, the health bar of the three-headed hellhound they looked up at disappeared instantly. Boom! The three-headed hellhound, nearly 10 meters tall, was covered in black and red flames. Under the unbelievable gaze of all the players, it fell to the ground beside them. The more than 30 members of the White Bull Altar were all masters of the Twisting Ways City who hadn't seen big storms, but they had never seen the scene before, and they had never even imagined it. Their powerful NPC Demon Nuke said that these three hellhounds were equivalent to a mythical boss. As a result, now, killed instantly. Is Demon Nuke bragging? Or is Shadow too strong? Including Queen K, everyone became a little dazed. They watched the three-headed hellhound covered in black and red flames fall heavily beside them, and the whole person froze in place, and even breathing became extremely difficult. Originally, before Qinfeng arrived, they really felt high-spirited, but now, all this has become extremely ridiculous. The subordinates of the so-called mythical Demon Nook were so vulnerable, as the three-headed dog of hell fell beside them. The black and red flames slowly extinguished, and their heartbeats accelerated, and each of them had a fear of facing death. Everyone knows that once killed by Shadow, it is possible that they will never come back. However, Shadow has killed one of the subordinates of Demon Nook. Demon Nook can already self-defense. Can the demon trainer Madman Nook, who they have high hopes for, kill Shadow? Anyway, they themselves have no hope, because after the three-headed dog of hell fell, they can't even see where Shadow is, let alone kill Shadow. To put it bluntly, even if it is Shadow's pet, if it wants to kill them, they have no ability to resist, so all the players present, including Queen K, found out in despair in front of Shadow. They have no experience at all, completely reduced to a background board. But suddenly, huge figures emerged from the void one after another around, and the dark atmosphere enveloped the whole scene with the appearance of those huge figures. 1, 2, 3. A total of 6 hell beasts of different shapes finally descended on this world. A demon madman holding a big sword slowly walked out of the room next to him. There were 6 black lines on his body, like black mist lingering around him and connected to the 6 huge figures. In this state, the demon tamer, Madman Nook, shared the life value with his 6 hell beasts. The damage he and his beast suffered will be divided equally into 7 parts. Originally it was 8 parts, but the three-headed hellhound that took the lead had died first. In this state, Madman Nook will be quite resistant to beating Shadow. Your strength is amazing. Demon Madman Nook, dragging a big sword in his hand, walked towards the scene, step by step in the black mist, in the black fog. His pair of flame-like pupils revealed a solemn and respectful look. I have recognized your strength, but you killed my men. I must kill you. He walked out with a sneer. His reaction gave Queen K and others around him renewed confidence, because they saw that their demon Madman Nuke did not kneel down and lick Shadow directly, because his men were killed instantly. This also means Demon Nuke still feels that he has a chance of winning. This is definitely good news for players of the White Bull Altar Guild such as Queen K, but before they could react, what nonsense. Kneel down? Qinfeng's cold voice came from the side, and accompanied by this voice is Divine rules. Kneel down to the Emperor. Qin Feng has never used the divine rules attached to the divine weapons from the God of Skeletons. But now in this situation, it is just right to use it. Just as the demon nuke walked out with a black mist all over his body and a majestic momentum. He wanted to take his remaining 6 men to besiege Qin Feng, who was somewhere unknown. The divine rules from Qin Feng instantly enveloped the whole scene. At this moment, the demon tamer madman, Nuke dragged a big sword in his hand. Queen K and her high-level players of the White Bull Altar Guild. There was also a dark demon bird, a demon ape as big as a hill, and 2 demon twin wolves, a total of 6 crazy beasts from hell. At the same time, they all knelt down in one direction without any warning. Snap. This from the divinity, the compulsory control of the rules made Queen K and her men drop their weapons, kneel down on the ground with their legs softened, and look horrified on their faces. It's not scary to make them kneel down, but what's scary is the demon tamer, Madman Nuke, who just appeared in a great manner, actually knelt down towards the void like them, and even brought his 6 hell beasts with him. The 2.5 meter tall Madman Nuke knelt on his knees with one hand on the black fire sword, and a pair of pupils burning with black flames, showed a very horrified look. He and his friends were all shocked at this moment. The birds also knelt down. The apes also knelt down, and the wolves also knelt down without exception. This is the recognition of the God of Skeletons. The demon madman Nuke obviously has much more experience than ordinary people. He recognized at the first time that this was a method from something. Most importantly, along with Qin Feng's divine rule, there was a noble, emotionless ancient divine language. Demon Nook. You can choose to obey or destroy. What this meant, Queen K and others could not understand at all, but Demon Nook understood it. The appearance of this ancient divine language, combined with the divine rule of kneeling to the Emperor, made him and his friends all feel a tingling horror. Ancient divine language. And very proficient? How is this possible? It has only been less than 3 months since the god-abandoned game of Blue Star came. How could it be possible to learn such a proficient ancient divine language? Could it be there is a secret between this person and a certain ancient god that must be told? Demon Nook couldn't help thinking like this. Just when he thought so, he suddenly heard another system prompt in which he was affected by another divine rule, and that divine rule was soul control. His soul was controlled, and his memories and thoughts were completely seen through at this moment. A guy whose combat power far exceeds that of an average mid-level NPC. For Qin Feng is already qualified to have his soul and memory checked. This is a magnificent hiding place like the Colosseum in Rome. On the square, Queen K and her men, Demon Nuke and his friends all knelt down obediently, without a trace of suspense. This scene made many players in Twisting Waste City who saw it from a distance feel a sense of fear, as strong as the White Bull Altar Guild, strong as the terrifying NPC Demon Nuke. They actually knelt down at this moment. And from Qin Feng's perspective, he first appeared with Luo Xiaoxiao openly, and then let the Grey Chicken take action to kill the culprit, Mysterious Mr. X first. It is worth mentioning that even if the target was killed by the Grey Chicken, Qin Feng could activate his divinity at that moment and send the target to the place of judgment. And now the Mysterious Mr. Xen has naturally arrived at the place of judgment. Then, with the Grey Chicken making trouble, the 3 Hellhounds really appeared. This thing is equivalent to the pet of the Demon Tamer NPC. Normal players can only have 1 pet in battle at the same time, but this Demon Tamer has an advantage in terms of profession and can control multiple pets to fight. Qin Feng directly used the Abyss Gaze Curse to look at the 3 Hellhounds and understand their properties. 2 consecutive slashes instantly killed them. These 3 Hellhounds are immune to the instant death affix and have a 8% injury limit. Unfortunately, Qin Feng completely ignored the opponent's injury limit after 2 slashes. The poison damage from the effect of the Mercy of the Goddess of Death was instantly detonated by the 2nd slash, killing the 3 Hellhounds instantly. It must be said that these 3 Hellhounds are definitely not weak in combat power. Although the blood bar is not as high as that of the mythical boss, it has various gains from the Demon Tamer Madman Nuke, and the damage reduction and defense are very high, but Qin Feng's current damage is naturally far beyond the level of ordinary mythical boss. 2 direct slashes. Send him back to hell? Then, the Devil Madman Nuke finally appeared in person. I thought that by relying on the symbiosis with the 6 Hell Beasts, I could activate my abilities to find the invisible Qin Feng and kill him. But what I never expected was, the moment Qin Feng saw the Devil Madman Nuke, he activated the Abyss Gaze Curse and saw through most of this guy's combat attributes, possessed 7 divine rules and 10 orders, directly consumed 10 points of divinity per second to offset all order effects. Then kneel down for me. The Kneeling the Emperor rule of the skeleton power consumes 109 points of divinity, which is no longer an ordinary divine weapon. In fact, any divine weapon and divine stunt that consumes more than 100 points of divinity is quite rare outside the Land of Order, including this Devil Madman Nuke. He was wearing 7 pieces of divine weapons, which was a very luxurious set of equipment, but the Divine Rule special effects attached to the 7 pieces of divine weapons did not have the control releasing type, and even only 2 pieces consumed more than 100 points of divinity. Naturally, he could not resist the forced kneeling effect from the skeleton power. Of course, Qin Feng was still quite interested in this guy. After all, he came to the New Yao City with the idea of subduing this NPC, so he directly used the Divine Rule from the White Bud Blade, Soul Control. This rule consumes 400 points of divinity, which is even more impossible for the Devil Madman Nuke to resist. At this moment, Qin Feng obtained the memory of this guy. It must be said that Qin Feng's method is much stronger than any Soul Searcher. After all, the White Bud Blade is the reward from the first place in the End Road, which is completely beyond the level that ordinary people can access. This guy is from the Demon Civilization. The Demon Civilization is one of the sublimated civilizations in the Land of Order, and it is also one of the earliest few ancient civilizations to sublimate. In a short period of time, Qin Feng checked the main experience of the Demon Nook. The strongmen in the Demon Civilization can be said to be countless, and this Demon Nook, with a humble origin, is a completely insignificant shrimp in the Demon Civilization because of his average talent. He has no strong backing in the Demon Civilization. He couldn't even get a Heart of Order. Finally, one day, he had a chance to get the Heart of Order. Once he got it, he could integrate an order into his body, making his own strength stronger. But unfortunately, his way was not very legitimate. He wanted to steal a Heart of Order, but was caught by the people of the temple. As punishment, this guy was exiled to Blue Star and became an NPC after coming to Blue Star. The Demon Nuke didn't know how many times he had reincarnated, but his memory of each reincarnation would be reset along with the Blue Star civilization. So in this guy's memory, there were only his time in the Demon Civilization and his experience as an NPC in Blue Star for more than 2 months. So, the case is solved. Is this why he almost reached the level of a high-level NPC and almost stole the Heart of Order of the temple? Qin Feng was a little speechless. This guy's strength is average, but his spirit is very high. After all, the Demon Civilization he came from is a super strong civilization that ranks among the top in the entire Land of Order. Even the Star Thieves, in certain historical eras, were the little brother civilization of the Demon Civilization. Even this Demon Civilization is the head civilization of a certain camp in the Land of Order. Then it is understandable that this guy is arrogant. This kind of pride also made this guy prefer death to surrendering to anyone, including the Shadow, whose development speed shocked him. If Qin Feng's performance was only strong in combat power, it might not be possible to subdue this guy, but fortunately, Qin Feng still has some special means. As soon as the Ancient God language came out and the Soul Control came out, Qin Feng had already grasped the mentality of this guy. Submit to me. You can return to the Land of Order and even become a strong man in the Demon Civilization. If you refuse, you will disappear from this world forever and cannot reincarnate. This Ancient God language came out, and the Demon Nuke swallowed his saliva directly. He felt a little unbelievable. This shadow of the Blue Star civilization was completely beyond his expectations. Originally, he wanted this shadow to disappear completely, so that it would not threaten his reincarnation. This time, he would rather die than obey. That's because the Demon Nook knew very well that even if he died in this reincarnation, he would be reset in the next reincarnation. But unexpectedly, Qin Feng directly shattered his thoughts. As for the ancient language, Queen K and others naturally couldn't understand it after just 9 seconds. They found that their force control effect was over, and they rushed to stand up one after another. But what shocked them was, obviously the force control was over, but the Demon Tamer Madman Nook, who they had high hopes for, and his 6 friends were still kneeling, without any intention of getting up. This made Queen K and others look at each other in bewilderment. What's going on? In the eyes of Queen K and others, the Devil Madman Nuke, whom they originally trusted, actually stuck his sword on the ground and knelt on his knees in an empty direction. Even though the effect of forced kneeling had ended, this guy did not stand up. What fake? This world is really crazy. What on earth did I see? At this moment, Qin Feng, who had just suddenly disappeared, appeared in front of the gate of the arena again. He held Luo Xiaoxiao's ice sculpture and flashed in front of Queen K. Now, let me tell you the terms. Qin Feng looked at Queen K and said in Daxia language, "You sent the Soulsucker Joffrey to attack our Daxia, which is already an act of war, since you have been defeated. It is time to sign a treaty of defeat. This treaty will definitely not be equal. You should be mentally prepared, Queen K, right? Joffrey confessed everything you did before he died. I think I don't need to say anything more, right?" Hearing Qin Feng's words, Queen K's face sank. Her eyes looked at the Devil Madman Nuke next to her, but the Devil Nuke didn't even look at him. Obviously, this NPC must be unreliable. This made Queen K very regretful. Why did she believe the NPC's arrogant words? This time, I'm afraid she will have to pay a greater price. You say it! Queen K looked at Qin Feng, took a deep breath, and said with her chest puffed out, "Add a friend first." Qin Feng was not in a hurry, and raised his hand to send a friend request to Queen K. The woman could only agree. When the demon nuke was still kneeling, how could she and the members of the White Bull Altar Guild behind her dare to disobey Shadow? They knew very well that from now on, their lives were in Shadow's hands. At the same time, they were also very curious about what conditions Shadow would propose. Unfortunately, Qin Feng did not intend to make the treaty public. Instead, he started to chat privately with Queen K. First, a fixed compensation of 50, 12 years of life every week. Second, the ownership of NPC Demon Nuke. Third, you and all the management and core members of your guild will voluntarily hand over your soul to Luo Xiaoxiao. Qin Feng said these 3 conditions lightly. Every condition made Queen K's heart beat wildly. She answered in a private chat with some difficulty. Her voice was very low. 50,000 years a week. The total tax revenue of our guild is not enough. Qin Feng, don't you control the Twisting Waste City? There are so many people in the Twisting Waste City. Isn't it enough for one person to come? Do you need me to teach you this? Queen K almost cried. Mr. Shadow, if you take the demon nuke away, our guild will never be able to control the Twisting Waste City. Qin Feng, who said I want to take this guy away? I just want his ownership, but I will leave him here and give you the right to use him. It is usually a deterrent, and when necessary, it can indeed allow you to gain absolute combat power. Of course, when I need a boost, I will come directly to him, and all expenses incurred during the period will be reimbursed by your guild. Hearing Qin Feng's words, Queen K had no reason to refuse at all. In front of Qin Feng, she didn't dare to make any excuses. Queen K finally said, "As for the third point, I have no problem myself, but I'm not sure if others are willing." Okay. Qin Feng nodded. Then you will ask them later, one by one, whether they are willing to hand over their souls to Luo Xiaoxiao. Queen K had no choice but to follow Qin Feng's orders. So under the kneeling of the demon nuke, Qin Feng seemed to have completely ignored this NPC. Queen K began to ask the core members of the guild behind her, as well as important management. Some of these people are combat personnel, some are business personnel, and some are official personnel who originally belonged to the New Yao City, but the current New Yao City has long been a mess. And the official organization once had little say. You, Christopher, hand over your soul to Miss Luo. Queen K began to call names. Christopher, a bald middle-aged man in a priest's robe, changed his face slightly when he heard this. How is it possible? This woman is an official of Daxia. Isn't this equivalent to treason? Before he finished speaking, Qin Feng raised his hand and a shadow blade flew out. Swish. The bald middle-aged priest had a hole in his forehead on the spot and turned into a corpse, and he was not resurrected after 3 seconds. This scene made the rest of the people change their faces. Obviously, Qin Feng's request was not an inquiry at all, but an order. Once violated, they would be completely killed. Now there is no other choice. One by one, they can only hand over their souls to Luo Xiaoxiao. When Queen K continued to ask the next person immediately agreed with a shudder, and then the second. The third, a total of more than 30 people present, all agreed to hand over their souls to Luo Xiaoxiao. In this way, Luo Xiaoxiao will have complete control over the life and death of these people. Moreover, the remaining players present are all the high-level players of the White Bull Altar Guild. Qin Feng had already asked Grey Chicken to deal with the players who were not high-level players nearby, and the handling was very clean. As one person after another was willing to hand over his soul to Luo Xiaoxiao, the girl, who was still in the state of ice sculpture, was extremely shocked. Although she could not move and could not see, her consciousness was clear. She felt as if she was in a dream when she felt the important figures of Twisting Waste City offering their souls one by one. How long did it take from beginning to end? Was this matter resolved just like that? As long as they control the key figures of the White Bull altar, even without any other additional conditions. It is enough for them to completely control the Twisting Waste City. Not to mention, Qin Feng must have other conditions. Okay, let's go. Qin Feng asked everyone to disperse, leaving only Queen K, and warned her that other situations can be told truthfully. But the situation about Demon Nook needs to be hidden. Everyone needs to know that Demon Nook is still the NPC of their guild, so that the White Bull Altar Guild can continue to control the Twisting Waste City more smoothly. As for how to conceal the situation and make up a reason, this is not Qin Feng's concern. Let Queen K figure it out herself. After dealing with the matter of the White Bull Altar Guild, Qin Feng turned his attention to Demon Nook. This demon NPC is indeed only one step away from the high-level NPC. If he succeeded in stealing the Heart of Order, then now he would have at least one order in his body. In this case, when being exiled to NPC, they will become high-level NPC, but this Demon Nuke is just one step away. And Qin Feng knows that in the demon civilization, There are many people like Demon Nuke because the current demon civilization, as one of the oldest sublimated civilizations, has an extremely significant feature that is class solidification and resource pouring. In the demon civilization that has been sublimated for tens of thousands of years, the entire civilized society has long been corrupted. The strong, the descendants of the strong, and the families of the strong, as a matter of course, occupy the vast majority of resources, including the monster spawning points on their civilization planet, ruins, tombs. The best resources have long been monopolized by various families and forces, so even if the civilian demons like Demon Nook have good professions and talents, it is difficult for them to rise, because the resources they can obtain are too few. All the popular monster spawning points are occupied. They can only spawn some scattered wild monsters, not to mention compared with other demon nobles of the same age. Even compared with some civilizations that have not yet sublimated, the upgrade speed is far behind. Since Demon Nook awakened his profession and talent at the age of 11, it took nearly 7 days to upgrade from level 1 to level 10. It took a month from level 10 to level 15. Even the further he went, the harder it was for him to move forward. No monsters, no experience. No monsters, no equipment. No monsters, no skill books. The equipment and skill books on the market have long been controlled by the demon nobles. Even some low-level skill books are very expensive. Civilian demons often need to empty all the tradable lifespans obtained by upgrading in exchange for little development resources. It is no exaggeration to say. In the demon civilization, the development environment of civilian demons is much worse than that of the players on Blue Star today, and the demon tamer Madman Nuke can stand out in such an environment, which shows that his profession and talent are really good, but unfortunately, everything he has is given by a demon duke named Makawaka. The Makawaka demon duke is willing to spend resources to help Madman Nuke reach the Land of Order, but the price is that after arriving in the Land of Order, he needs to become a servant of the demon duke's son. All the precious resources obtained in the Land of Order need to be handed over to the son of Makawaka. From the memory of the demon Nook, Qinfeng could learn that the demon duke Makawaka had cultivated many such servants, and each of them was given only a little resource, which was enough to make some of the truly talented civilian demons stand out. In this way, the cost of the demon nobles was very small, but the harvest was extremely rich, because only when you reach the Land of Order can you obtain precious resources like the Heart of Order. Only after using the Heart of Order and integrating at least one order into your body can you become an Ascendant and truly join the Land of Order. Otherwise, you have not truly set foot in the Land of the World before. Qinfeng believed that the condition for becoming a high-level NPC after exile was to set foot in the Land of Order, but now it seems to be wrong. The real condition is to obtain the Heart of Order after reaching the Land of Order, integrate at least one order into your body, and become a sublimator. Demon Nook has arrived at the Land of Order, but has never used the Heart of Order, so he is not qualified to become a high-level NPC. But in fact, he has already obtained the Heart of Order once. It's just that according to the agreement, his Heart of Order needs to be handed over to the son of the Demon Duke. In the end, this guy planned to break the agreement and go to the temple to steal the Heart of Order that had been handed over. That's why he was punished by the Demon Duke and exiled. Demon Civilization. This extremely ancient civilization is one of the giant forces in the Land of Order. Of course, since Demon Nook didn't stay in the Land of Order for a long time, he didn't know the relevant situation, but at least he really arrived in the Land of Order. This gave Qinfeng a vague and preliminary understanding of the Land of Order. They will transfer you to my guild. Do you agree? At this time, Qinfeng came to Demon Nook and asked. Demon Nook is 2.5 meters tall, but now he is kneeling on his knees and looks about the same height as Qinfeng. Hearing this, he nodded slowly. We demons worship the strong with your potential. When you arrive in the Land of Order, countless people will surrender. Qinfeng narrowed his eyes. Then you wanted to kill me just now? By checking the other party's memory, Qinfeng knew that this Demon Nook really had the power to completely wipe out people in the game. Just now, this Demon Nook really wanted to kill Qinfeng. Your potential is too terrible. Demon Nook shook his head. You belong to the human race. When you arrive in the Land of Order in the future, you will bring great things to our demon civilization. Big trouble? After hearing this, Qinfeng understood. This made Qinfeng a little silent, and he paused and asked, Your experience in the demon civilization was not very good. So you are still willing to fight for the demon civilization, and even willing to sacrifice your life? Demon Nook didn't say anything, but Qinfeng was obviously right. As for why he suddenly decided not to take action, it was because he clearly felt the gap between him and Qinfeng. Since he couldn't kill this human being no matter what, why sacrifice him in vain? It has to be said that Qin Feng still felt a little emotional about the behavior of this demon nook. Isn't this much better than some lackeys who change their minds with the wind? Even now, this guy still abides by the pride of the demon clan. In addition to kneeling to Qin Feng, Demon Nook was always neither humble nor humble when facing Qin Feng, and he didn't mean to lick his knee. This is the pride of the demon clan that he has been exposed to since he was a child, and it will not change, no matter what situation he is in. From this, we can see how strong the overall strength of the demon civilization in the Land of Order is. I, Demon Nook, am willing to serve you as an NPC. Kneeling on his knees, the Demon Nook said to Qin Feng in a deep voice. But if I return to the Land of Order one day, I will still choose to return to the demon civilization. By then, I may be your enemy. Qin Feng was a little annoyed by this guy's straightforwardness. You can go wherever you want. It's none of my business. At this moment, Qin Feng only cares about what kind of gains and improvements this guy will bring to him. From the memory of Demon Nook, Qin Feng learned, if you want to pass the test of this demon, madman, and subdue him as a guild NPC, there is a condition, that is, you have to kill some of his hell beasts. The most basic ones are comparable to the epic level, then the legendary level, and finally the mythical level hell beasts. The White Bull Guild used the high level equipment smuggled from Daxia, and after many aspects of exploration and detection, they barely killed one of the epic beasts under Demon Nook, and then took it into the guild. Just now, Qin Feng killed the three-headed dog of hell, which is one of the strongest beasts under the demon madman, and its comprehensive combat power is comparable to the mythical boss. In this case, after Demon Nook was transferred to Qin Feng, it has more than just basic functions. There will also be advanced functions and advanced functions. 2 updates on the last day. I'm done with the work, and I'll resume 3 updates tomorrow. When Qin Feng heard the system prompt in his mind, this demon Tamer Madman Nook was successfully transferred to Qin Feng's guild, and 3 levels of functions were unlocked directly. Qin Feng looked at the guild interface. He found that its basic function was to provide various buff states to the guild or authorized players, including level 15 invisibility, extended buff state duration, shortened negative state duration, etc. There are also buffs such as cooling speed plus 360% and skill release consumption reduced by 70%. But for Qin Feng, they are either useless or completely cost effective. Qin Feng is most concerned about its advanced and high level functions. Demon Nook, advanced function. Provide random buff attributes to mounts and pets. Demon Nook, high level function. Sell hell fruits that can give mounts and pets random new skills. The former buff is temporary and the fee is lower, but it takes at least 5,000 years of life. If there is no need, Qin Feng will definitely not use this function, but the last advanced function is quite attractive to Qin Feng, Hell Fruit. It can give mounts and pets random new skills. Qin Feng couldn't help complaining. This thing comes from the devil? Why not just call it a devil fruit? Complaining aside, the value of this thing is quite good for Qin Feng. After all, Qin Feng has 2 mounts and a pet at present, and there will be 2-headed Phoenix Luteisel in the future, and even more. So, as a hidden profession of Demon Tamer, the ability of this Madman Nook is to provide various enhancements to his pets and mounts, and even create hell fruits that allow pets and mounts to unlock new skills? Reasonable. Then the question is, the key to this hell fruit lies in the price. Even when Madman Nook is in the best mood, the lowest price of this hell fruit is as high as 75,000 years per piece. If Madman Nook is in a bad mood, the price can be multiplied several times, up to 300,000 years per piece. Just right! When the NPC was transferred to Qin Feng's guild, Qin Feng found that this guy seemed to be in a bad mood. The price of this hell fruit was actually 300,000 years of life. Are you really in a bad mood? Or are you kidding me? Qin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at the demon madman Nuke in front of him. The tall demon with black and red fire mist all over his body sneered and said, "The human race has a genius like you. It's normal for me, a demon, to be in a bad mood, right?" Qin Feng had to admit that this guy was a talent. But unfortunately, Qin Feng would not allow the situation to continue, let alone become a sucker. He shook his head and looked at the demon madman Nuke. "Nuke, you are wrong to think so. If you are in a bad mood, then I am in a bad mood too. If I am in a bad mood, I will become an enemy of the demon civilization in the future. If you are in a better mood, then I will become friends with you in the future, which is also a good thing for the demon civilization. After all, humans and demons may not be unable to become friends, right?" As soon as these words came out, the demon Nuke's face changed slightly. He pondered Qin Feng's words for a while. He found that what he said was really reasonable. Demon Nook looked at Qin Feng meaningfully. In fact, we demons have long discovered that compared to us, some people of your human race are sometimes the real demons. Kainfeng was completely unmoved, although I don't know who you are talking about. It's not me anyway. After all, I am just an ordinary pacifist in the Blue Star civilization. Demon Nook looked at the direction where the bald middle-aged priest was killed by Qin Feng just now and said in his heart, I don't believe you. Fuck pacifists. They should be nuclear pacifists, right? Anyway, after Qin Feng's nonsense, this Demon Nook really adjusted the price back. Advanced function. You can buy the hell fruit from this demon at the price of 75,000 years, and this hell fruit is unlimited, just like the Heart of Order. Each use requires more hell fruit to add a random skill to the mount or pet. It is worth mentioning that the grade of this random skill is at least epic, and at most ancient, hell fruit. Limited to 3 pieces per day. If the 50% tax rate is included, I have to consume 500 years of life to buy all the hell fruits every day. Qin Feng was a little surprised. He did a quick calculation, and now he is all over the world. The pig farms in various regions of the world provide lifespans on a weekly basis. But even so, they are barely enough to buy 3 hell fruits every day. However, this is not a scam by the Demon Nook, because Qin Feng has seen this guy's memory. He knows that the cost price of this hell fruit is 35,037,000 years of lifespan. This is just a production skill in the hands of the Demon Nook, but he has never used it before in the demon civilization, because he simply does not have so much lifespan to make hell fruits. What's more, in the demon civilization, people generally admire personal strength the most, and they are a little disdainful of pets and mounts. This also makes the status of the Madman Nook not high in the demon civilization. No one would be willing to buy something like the hell fruit. The income from major regions around the world is 500 to 600,000 years of lifespan every week, most of which comes from Sakura Country, Great Cold Country, and Los Angeles chickens in North America. Counting other miscellaneous income, 112 years a day is affordable. And these lifespans are totally worth spending. I won't talk about how much help the mythical Osiris brought to Qin Feng. As for the Grey Chicken, its rank is not high enough now. When the rank of the Grey Chicken is also improved, the more skills it has, the more powerful it will be. To unlock the first random skill, you need a hell fruit. To unlock the second skill, you need 2 hell fruits. The third skill needs 3, and the fourth skill needs 4. This is a bottomless pit. I just hope that when I unlock the skills, I will have better luck and unlock some useful skills, Qin Feng thought, and waved his hand, consuming 225 years of life on the spot, and bought 3 black and red heart-like hell fruits from the devil Madman Nook. After the transaction was completed, half of the 500 years of lifespan was directly returned to the Shadow Guild. Kainfeng can use this part of lifespan at will. It is equivalent to a 50% discount. In addition, if the Demon Nook stays in this Twisting Waste City and Queen K and others need to get a buff, then 50% of the lifespan paid will be collected by Qin Feng's guild, which is an additional income. At this moment, Qin Feng was somewhat thankful. Fortunately, he had made arrangements in various places in advance and became the pig farm manager. Otherwise, he really couldn't afford 3 hell fruits every day. At this price, the Demon Nook has no profit at all, and this is exactly the lowest price calculated by the system of the godforsaken game, which can be said to be stuck. When 3 hell fruits that looked like beating hearts appeared in Qin Feng's hand, he summoned Osirio, Grey Chicken, and the beautiful snake Samia, and made them invisible at the same time. Try it. What skills can be unlocked? When the hell fruit appeared, Osirio and Grey Chicken were ecstatic. Even the snake girl Samia, who had always been indifferent, was a little moved. Obviously, this kind of thing is a very expensive existence. It's not mainly because of how precious this thing is, but this beautiful snake Samaya seems to have not yet fully accepted the fact that she has become a mount. The hell fruit is something that only mounts and pets can use. Now, she can use this thing to upgrade. Could it be that becoming Shadow's mount will be the turning point of my life? Could it be that if I continue to develop along the way, I will be stronger than before? Shamia couldn't help but think so. Although she had lost most of her previous memories, she knew that she was more than just an epic boss, but a much higher level than this. It might even be a level that Qin Feng couldn't reach at the moment. But if Qin Feng continued to develop like this, wouldn't he be able to reach her level sooner or later? Although Shamia didn't know what methods and trump cards Qin Feng had, just looking at Qin Feng's development speed, it was unprecedented. 1 for each person. Let's see what skills can be unlocked. Kainfeng handed 1 hell fruit to each of the 3 guys. If anyone comprehends a rubbish skill, don't blame me for laughing at them. Osirio was looking forward to it. I summoned all the younger brothers. Can you let me comprehend the skill of summoning a princess? The Grey Chicken put its wings on its hips, with a look of contempt. It's a shame to follow you all the way. Let me tell you, beauty is nothing but clouds and obstacles. Only strength is everything? It's better to have more high power skills. When I return to the Phoenix tribe, I will let those arrogant female phoenixes know what a real male is. Shamia looked at this pair of funny people and was completely speechless. If she wasn't also Qinfeng's mount, she would have suspected that the personalities of these two guys were like their master's shadow. When these three mount pets obtained the Hell Fruit, it's time to draw the prize. Qinfeng watched them use the Hell Fruit. Although it looked like a beating black and red heart, it was actually some kind of composite fruit. As the Hell Fruit melted into black and red energy and merged into their bodies, they all unlocked a new skill. Grey Chicken unlocked a mythical skill, and his luck was pretty good. Skill from Hell. Hell Torment mythical passive effect. Increase your continuous damage by 127%. Semana. Most of Grey Chicken's output damage currently comes from the continuous output of Hell Flame. From a certain perspective, the Hell Phoenix and the Hell Demons have quite a lot in common, so they fit the Hell Fruit very well. The birth of this new skill also doubled Grey Chicken's output. This is exactly what Grey Chicken expected just now. It has become more powerful. However, in comparison, Osiris obviously failed to fulfill its wish. The new skill it unlocked was just a legendary skill, Skill from Hell. Hell Tremor, legendary after releasing. The breath from Hell will spread, causing all enemies within a 200 meter radius to be shocked, and all damage received will be deepened by 20%. Duration, 5 minutes. Cooling down, 10 minutes. This is an independent damage increasing skill, although it only increases damage by 20%. If it is combined with Osiris's original Deadfire Boneblade, 40% damage increasing effect. The total damage increase is 68%. This effect is also quite impressive for Qinfeng when necessary. Osiris can now become Qinfeng's killer. When the damage is not enough, Osiris's Deadfire Boneblade and Hell Tremor alone can increase Qinfeng's damage to a whole new level. What about the Ancient God Challenge? The road to the end. These places that need to rush to the rankings, they can be used, Qinfeng thought. Among the three Hell Fruits this time, the one that surprised Qinfeng the most was not the Grey Chicken or Osirio. Instead, it was the beautiful snake Samia who had been unknown before. Skill from Hell. Hell Boundary Monument, Ancient Level Divine Stunt. Consume 97 points of the owner's divinity to create an Ancient Boundary Monument from Hell. When the Hell Boundary Monument exists, add the Thin Burial State to all friendly units within 300 meters. Units in this state will not die. The minimum health value is locked at 1 point, and the death scale is stacked up to 99% during the existence of the Hell Boundary Monument. All damage absorbed by the surrounding friendly units will be converted into healing when the Hell Boundary Monument disappears. Duration, 60 seconds. Cooling down, 1 hour. Hell Boundary Monument. After release, it can save all friendly units within the range from death. Although it can only last for a minute at most, it is already extremely amazing. With this skill, only Divine Rule attacks that consume more than 97 points of divinity can force it to break. At present, I am completely invincible. As long as the Hell Boundary Monument exists, I will never die. It will be a killer level secret weapon for fighting the Road to the End and the Ancient God Challenge. After passing the challenge of the Skeleton God before, Qinfeng found that in this kind of Ancient God Challenge, there will basically be no lethal attacks at the level of Divine Rules. It is even less likely that there will be Divine Rule attacks with a strength of more than 97 points of divinity, because the Ancient God Challenge is intended to test the challenger, not to kill the challenger. If this Ancient level Hell Boundary Monument skill is not a divine stunt, then the effect in high-end occasions is just average. After all, any attack type divine stunt can ignore its effect, but since it is a divine stunt, it has been raised to more than one level at once. I didn't expect that pets could actually unlock divine special skills through this Hell Fruit. Although it consumes my divinity, I have enough divinity. After all, the upper limit of the divinity of the Judgment Blade is more than 500 points, and it takes the least life to replenish it. To put it simply, if this skill is in the hands of others, then when others release it, even Qinfeng cannot kill the other party unless he uses the Whitebud Soul Harvest, which consumes 1200 points of divinity. When the beautiful snake Samia comprehended this skill, Grey Chicken and Osirios were both stunned, staring at the purple and enchanting beautiful snake. No, there are still divine skills in this Hell Fruit pool. They have ancient divine skills? Their luck is full. Why can I, the King of Predators, only unlock a legendary skill? In fact, even Osirios' Hell Tremor, this legendary skill, is a very powerful skill, because it is a skill that gives the enemy a negative state. In a team, it can increase the damage of the entire team by 20%, and the effect is quite significant. It can be said that none of the skills comprehended by the 3 mount pets this time are useless. But as the saying goes, comparing people makes people angry. Compared with the Hell Boundary Monument that Samaya had unlocked, both Both Osiris's legendary Hell Thriller and Grey Chicken's Hell Torment were a little less interesting. At this time, compared with Osiris and Grey Chicken's crying and screaming, the purple enchanting beauty snake Samia still looked indifferent. Even after unlocking the ancient divine stunt, Samia was still calm and composed. It made Qinfeng sigh. This beauty snake is really elegant. It's worth buying it for 75,000 years. It's worth the money. Qinfeng was satisfied. He looked at the devil madman Nuke beside him. By the way, buddy, do you have any automatic purchase function? If I don't come tomorrow, can I automatically buy the hell fruit that is limited to tomorrow? The corner of Nuke's mouth twitched. What do you think? Qinfeng waved his hand. You are quite polite. Forget it. Then I will come every day and buy all the hell fruits. Anyway, the round trip fare will be reimbursed by the White Bull Altar Guild. Hearing Qinfeng's words, the devil madman Nuke couldn't help but envy. He spent more than 100 Alban lifespans without blinking an eye. Isn't this human assassin too rich? In the land of order, hell fruits are not rare, at least in the market. They can be bought at a price slightly higher than the cost price. But it has only been less than 3 months since the Blue Star civilization began to reincarnate. And he can freely use the hell fruit. How far can he grow in the future? It is really hard for Nuke to imagine at this moment. He agreed more and more with what Qinfeng had just said. It is always better to make friends with Qinfeng than to be hostile to Qinfeng. Of course, until now, Madman Nuke did not think that Qinfeng could shake the position of their demon civilization in the land of order. After all, their demon civilization has a history of sublimation for thousands of years, and many amazing and terrifying geniuses have emerged. Their development speed is not slower than that of Qinfeng today. However, Demon Nuke did not realize that Qinfeng was not comparable to those geniuses of their demon civilization, because those geniuses of the demon civilization developed quickly because they were in the sublimation civilization. Various resources are already more abundant, and the entire civilization has already had the most efficient and perfect plan for the development route, and there are also staged top-level equipment purchased and brought back by strong people from other civilizations. So how can the development speed not be fast? When everything in the Twisting Waste City was done, Qinfeng took Luo Xiaoxiao and stood on Osirio's back again, soaring into the sky. Qinfeng removed her ice sculpture state. Miss Luo, you've worked hard, Qinfeng said, and put a teleportation stone in her little hand. This is a teleportation stone. Use it directly to return to your hiding place. Luo Xiaoxiao nodded meekly. Her eyes were blind, making the image of shadow in her mind more and more mysterious. When Qinfeng watched this blind but gentle woman use the teleportation stone to leave, he thought of something. Congenital blindness like this can be completely cured with some order or divine rules of the god-forsaken game. However, Qinfeng is not a priest, so even if he gets the relevant skill book, he can't learn it at all. Next, we have to wait for the second spread of desolation. While leveling up by killing monsters, focus on killing monsters in the Abyss world. When Qinfeng abyssified the skill of Hand of Greed, his Abyss Puppet's journey of killing monsters in the Abyss world became extremely smooth. Every time you kill a monster from the Abyss, use the Eye of Greed, and the monster's body explodes, directly dropping a reward of 30 times. With this 30-fold explosion rate, almost every monster, there will be 1 or 2 equipment crafting materials. What are stripping stones? Order stones. Strengthening stones, even rule stones. According to this explosion rate, Qinfeng found that he could not even use the divine book rewarded by the end of the land. This equipment crafting material is completely free. However, the explosion rate of this Abyss Shrine is still so low, it seems that if it weren't for the reincarnation corpse of Galing that girl, I would have to brush for a long time before I could really get on the right track in the Abyss world. After Qinfeng obtained the first week of 50 thousand years of life from the White Bull Guild, he returned to the ruins of the Demon City in Daxia, and in the Pacific Ocean game area next to it, he asked the Blue Mermaid Prince to help gather monsters in the deep sea, and then brushed monsters. This is currently the fastest way for Qinfeng to brush monsters. The disadvantage is that he needs to quit the guild, which is a bit troublesome. After brushing for a day, in the Pacific game area, in a large deep sea area, countless deep sea monster corpses all exploded when Qinfeng looked at them. In addition to more than 30 times the loot, there were also more than 3 times the experience points on average. This made Qinfeng's experience bar increase several times faster than before. Just after a day of brushing like this, another good news came from the Coconut Country. A man and a woman in the ruins of Manila, 2 of the Coconut Country's 4 King Kongs, finally came out of the ruins of the ancient god of natural disaster and jointly brought out the last rune of the ancient god of natural disaster. In addition, through some clues excavated from the ruins, they have locked the location of the tomb of the ancient god of natural disaster. At this moment, the 2-headed Phoenix Lutixir has started hunting in the Coconut Country. This made the 4 strongest King Kongs in the Coconut Country feel threatened under the urging of external forces. the four King Kongs finally decided to unite. Let's join forces and go to the tomb of the ancient god of calamity. When we come out of the tomb, we will definitely have the strength to kill the two-headed phoenix. The four Vajras of Coconut Country are ready to go. But what they don't know is the person behind Ludi Hill is Qin Feng. What they don't know is that Qin Feng is very interested in the runes of the ancient god of calamity in their hands. Good guy? The Daxia official actually has an informant in the Coconut Country. Qin Feng learned about the situation in the Coconut Country from Wan Yi Wei Yu. Although Qin Feng asked Lu Tixier to go to the Coconut Country, after all, the two-headed phoenix is a monster of the boss template, and there is no real-time communication channel between Qin Feng. Not to mention that the boss may not be particularly sensitive to the news between players, so after Qin Feng knew that there was news about the runes of the ancient god of natural disasters in the Coconut Country, he asked the Daxia official to pay attention to it. Unexpectedly, the first-hand news came. In this case, I can only go to the Coconut Country? Qin Feng smiled. This time when he went to the Coconut Country, he planned to teleport directly across the border. The last time he went to the North American Twisting Waste City, he wanted to take Luo Xiao there, but Luo Xiao was not at level 30, so he could not use the cross-border teleportation array, so he could only go offline. But this time, Qin Feng was the only one going to the Coconut Country, so there was no need to be so particular, just go. As soon as he got the news, Qin Feng asked about the situation in detail, and then teleported directly to the capital of Coconut Country, Manila Ruins. At the same time, godforsaken game world, about 800 kilometers east of the Coconut Country Manila Ruins. There is an endless ocean, waves are surging on the sea, accompanied by scarlet mist, filling the entire sea area. Here is a disaster area with a life flow rate of 1,000 times. Nowadays, the area with a life flow rate of 1,000 times is not too fatal to some top players. Even many players have begun to level up in this level of area, and they can keep the benefits greater than the consumption. Of course, this sea area is currently a place that Coconut Country players will not set foot in, because the number of monsters refreshed here is too small. It is not a suitable place for leveling. Only today, there are 4 groups of players, totaling nearly 1,000 people, who came to this area in a mighty manner. Those with flying mounts are flying in the sky. Those who don't have flying mounts can take the bone sailboats that have been searched and repaired from the seaside towns. As the name suggests, these sailboats are made of bones, and no one knows why they can float on the water. A long time ago, many guilds in the ruins of Manila found many wreckages of bone sailboats, and many large guilds invested in purchasing some elemental materials to repair and restore them. At this moment, a total of 12 bone sailboats set out from the coast and sailed for about 2 hours before finally approaching the destination. The magic players overdrew their mana to drive the bone sailboats to move. The speed is not slow, and they can sail more than 100 meters per second, reaching a speed of more than 400 kilometers per hour. This is far beyond the sailing speed of ships in the technological era. On one of the bone sailboats, there is a tall and thin woman wearing a pirate hat, standing on the deck of the sailboat, waving her arms and dispersing the red mist in front of her. She stepped on a bone bench and looked into the distance, her long black hair fluttering in the wind, her figure hot, and one eye under the prop eye mask of a pirate was very bright. President, we are running out of mana, and the driving force of the White Widow is not enough. We may fall behind. A middle-aged man wearing warrior equipment quickly ran over and reported the situation with sweat on his forehead. Seeing the heroic female president in front of him pretending to be a pirate, the middle-aged man was a little nervous and couldn't understand why the president had so much time to dress up as a pirate for fun in such a tense operation. And the White Widow he was talking about was naturally the bone-sailing ship they were on. Hearing this news, the female pirate leader said impatiently without even turning her head, "Do you want to take drugs? Where are the mana recovery potions? Do you need me to teach you?" The middle-aged man was stunned. "Use it now." Nonsense. If you don't need it now, when will you use it? Consuming some supplies is nothing. We must not fall behind in this competition. The female pirate leader waved her hand, her voice majestic and crisp, making people want to obey naturally. Her game code name is Sarah, and she is one of the 4 strongest kings in the Coconut Kingdom. Her profession is a hidden profession gunfighter. Although it is not the only hidden profession, with her emerald level talent, she quickly arose to become one of the strongest in the Manila Ruins after the God Abandoned game came. No one knows what her real name is. Today's Manila Ruins are the world of her and another mortal enemy, Joseph, and the 2 sides have been fighting for a long time. This time, the ancient god of natural disasters. The rune was that she and Joseph each got one, and then they entered the ruins together and got the 3rd one with great difficulty. Now, she and Joseph agreed to use 3 Calamity Ancient God runes together to improve together, because the Coconut Kingdom is now facing a disaster. Level 45 epic boss, a 2-headed phoenix, inexplicably came to the game area of Coconut Kingdom, starting from the ruins of Lavig in the northernmost part, and killed all the way to the ruins of the capital Manila, killing countless players along the way. No player can resist the attack of the two-headed phoenix. At first, Sarah was very depressed. Why would an epic boss come to kill her? But soon after investigation, she became even more depressed, because she learned that the two-headed phoenix seemed to be lured by Joseph's men. One of Joseph's subordinates is nicknamed Gibbon. He has a younger brother, Little Monkey. By chance, he recognized an NPC old fisherman as his godfather. From then on, he became the biggest trouble for our guild. There are many elite members in Sarah's guild who were badly cheated by the old fisherman NPC, but not long ago, she found out that the old fisherman NPC under Joseph seemed to have disappeared, and the Gibbon, Little Monkey, and others disappeared. Through in-depth investigation, Sarah finally knew that those guys took advantage of the old fisherman NPC to take the task privately and ran to the ruins of the sea city of Daxia and never came back, so it can be known that the two-headed phoenix was probably led from Daxia. However, how long does it take to fly from the ruins of Daxia Sea City to our coconut country? What kind of hatred and grudge made the boss fly so far? Sarah was puzzled. But this question is not important now. The important thing is that the coconut country is now facing a disaster, and they must work together to overcome the difficulties. Therefore, Sarah and Joseph discussed and asked the other two strongest King Kong of the coconut country to come to the ruins of Manila together to explore the tomb of the ancient god of natural disasters, Utos. As long as anyone can gain something, perhaps they can save the coconut country. Regarding the location of the tomb, they have obtained some information by studying some materials and interpreting runes and relics. At this time, a female guard under Sarah who had obtained the blood of the winged people quickly reported the situation. President, the whirlpool mentioned in the ruins information is ahead. The fleet must be slowed down, otherwise it will be sucked into the whirlpool and everyone will die.